Welcome, Chief Rabbi Metzger. It's a privilege for me as the WealthRabbi to be interviewing you here today in Kitzbühel, Austria. So, Chief Rabbi Metzger, you became Chief Rabbi of Israel, the youngest Chief Rabbi in the history of the state. Share with us some of the challenges and the issues that you face as Chief Rabbi of Israel.
I wanted very much to do everything to combine all kinds of Jews in Israel. It's not so simple, and it's not so easy. We have secular people, lefties and righties and Haredim, and Zionist people, religious and not religious. It's not so easy to combine all of them together. Even between the Haredim and the Dati'im together, it's not so easy to be beloved on both sides. And because I served in the army as a tankist, I think a lot of windows and hearts between the secular people. Because today, there is a big argument if religious people have to serve in the army or not, and even someone who came from the yeshiva and served in the army and became the Chief Rabbi of Israel, for some people it's a key for their hearts. And for others it's not so good. But I think that I find the key how to speak with all groups of people. I built also a committee for religious leaders in Israel. We went together to the Pope because he didn't believe about it. And we showed to the media press in Europe that in Israel we live together, all kinds of religions, together with a lot of respect and honor. Everyone is free to serve his God. Ish be'emunato yechyeh. Everyone has his belief to his God, his prayer, his synagogue, church, mosque, something like this. And we live together very nice. And even it was one time someone, we didn't know who was it, burned a mosque. I came with the president to inside the mosque to say that we are against it and it's not our way, because I believe that every holy place to any religion in the world is an embassy of God. As an embassy, we are not allowed to touch it, of course, or to burn it.
Right. So you see yourself in a certain sense as Chief Rabbi of Israel, not only as Chief Rabbi to the Jews in Israel, but to the Chief Rabbi to all the faiths and all the religions who worship in Israel.
I can tell you, when I was crowned 8 years ago, it was written in some newspapers, the Pope of the Jews was crowned today.
Right.
They didn't know how to translate it.
Right, I understand. So this delegation you took to the Vatican included what? Muftis, and included priests and bishops?
Exactly.
Right.
Jews, Christians, Arabs, Muslims, all kind of Christians, right. Orthodox, Catholics, Greece, Russian. We have a lot of churches in Jerusalem,
yes.
Haifa also,
right.
And Anglican church, all kind of Christian, all kind of Muslims.
Yes. So tell me, Chief Rabbi, what I'm interested in is there's been a big movement towards social justice in Israel, and a great deal of controversy about economic power and how it's concentrated in the hands of certain wealthy families. Do you feel that the Chief Rabbi and the Chief Rabbi's office and the rabbinate in Israel, have a contribution to make to this public debate about social and economic justice in Israel?
We were very pro this demonstration, but in one hand we were against, in one hand we were very, very positive. For us it's very important that everyone will have the right to bring home food be so expensive. It have to be to everyone the elementary things, electricity and things that we are using every day, that every family has to use it to buy it cheap as possible. And this, of course, everyone agree with this. But on the other hand, as you know, to live in the center of London is very expensive. To live in the center of Manhattan is very expensive. To live in the center of Moscow is very expensive. So the young people thought that everyone have to live in the center of Tel Aviv and the prices have to be very, very cheap. It cannot be. Because it's not against the nature of all the world. As you are a little bit further from Tel Aviv, from Jerusalem, of course it will be lower prices, and there are lower prices, but people don't want to stand in the traffic every morning. They want a comfortable life. So this doesn't go together.
So you sitting as chief rabbi in Israel, when you look at the general world and the general economic situation, and it's interesting that Israel has been such a success story and almost an exception to the rule of the global recession. What are the factors, do you think, that have been at play in terms of creating this recession? Is there a moral or values issue here that has caused this economic depression?
I think the government can do something. For example, if the government will take some area to build buildings and apartments, cheap apartments, a little bit in the north, a little bit as closer to the center, close to Jerusalem, close to Tel Aviv, but not in the center of Tel Aviv. And if it will be a lot of apartments that will be cheap for young couples, it will help to find a solution to such a problem.
And is the Rabbanut actually engaging with the government and advocating this?
We are speaking with them, and they start now a movement to push it, but it has to take time.
So we've spoken about the broader issues. What, in terms of individuals and the Jewish attitude towards money and wealth accumulation, what is your perspective on this? Is the Torah pro-wealth and pro-capitalism, or does it look with reservation upon the accumulation of wealth? What's your take on this?
We know that everyone has to think, first of all, to understand that even if he is a wealthy man, everything came from God. And because of this, he has to share with others. It's not written that it's forbidden to be a wealthy man. It's written, Ashir lo yarbe v'hadal lo yam'it. It means that the Torah understands that there are wealthy people and there are poor people. Therefore, we have tzedakah, charity, to give to the poor people, to share with them, to give them all the conditions to comfortable life. And the tzedakah, the charity, has to come from the wealthy people. But to say that we are more pro-communism, that there will not be at all rich people and not poor people, it's against the nature. Even in the communist time, always were people that they had nice life, easy life, and very, very rich, and the other were poor.
So my final question to you, Chief Rabbi, is what can you do to encourage broader Israeli society, not just the religious sector, to be more charitable and to be more giving in their personal lives?
I think that everyone who will be more close to the tradition, he will understand that our basis of our faith is to share with others. If someone is secular, it's not necessarily, I'm not thinking that he doesn't give charity, but he doesn't do it as a commandment. It's a big difference. Sometimes there are people who do it. But a lot of people, as I know, they keep themselves, why I need to give it. I met once a very wealthy man. He came from Russia, as we call oligarch, and it was a party, and he appreciates someone from the wealthy people from Israel. This man taught me to give tzedakah. I didn't know about it because I was not a religious man. I didn't know this is behave as a Jewish man. And as a Jewish man, we know that the charity we have to give 10% of our salary.
Right.
So it's not so easy. If you are a wealthy man, you have to give so much. So if you give as a traditional man 10% of your charity, it's like to fulfill a commandment, not a voluntary.
Chief Rabbi, many thanks for sharing your time with us. Thank you very much indeed.